So hello everyone, in this video we'll be learning about container in Bootstrap. So what is a container class? Actually it is a wrapper class which we use for a div or a container. We use it for creating basically containers for large text or large data, or for creating sections we use that. So if I add a container class here, let me just remove this h1 tag. And if I add something inside that, for example h1 hello world, let's say, and if I add a class of, let's say, container, then what this will do is this will actually add left and right a gap, and it will create it in a box. So let me just add some background color to it. So for adding a background color, we have this bg, and then there are some contextual classes. We'll understand this bg in the upcoming videos. For now I'm just adding, for example, primary. So this will add a background primary color which is a little bit blue color. So you can see that it added a box uh, inside, like outside this text, and this is actually pretty much it does. So container class is mainly used for uh, creating a wrapper around a text or around a large data. And if I make this screen smaller, so if I make this screen smaller, so you see that, so it is actually automatically changing its width or the max width, because when we add this container class, it actually uses the max width property, and it is actually a bit different for different sizes of screens, and it is automatically makes screens responsive, whatever the content inside that. So that will be responsive inside that. So if I create one, let's say div, and then let's say let me just tell you the thing for the container, what is container actually, and let's understand this only. So hello world, and then if I add a container fluid class, so that will act similar to this, but it will make the width 100% always. You can see that the width is 100% always, and it will remain 100% at always whenever the screen is changing. It doesn't matter to that. So it is actually 100% width in all the screen sizes. So this is actually what it does. But if I add container only, so it will initially will be not taking the full width of the device, but the lesser width. And if we go to the smaller screen, then it will take the 100% width. So you can see that it is automatically managing the width. You see that? Yeah. So this is actually the behavior. But if we go to the smaller screens, like this is now the smaller screen size, which is less than the 570 pixel, I think, then it automatically takes up the full width. But earlier it was managing the width. So it was managing the width. You see that? So it is managing the width, but if the screen size is smaller than 570 pixel, which is normally for mobile screens, then it will take up this whole screen or whole width actually. But if we add container fluid, then it will take up all the spacing around it. So that will always be 100%. But there is also one MD class. If we add MD here, so it will take up the 100% width whenever the medium size device is there. Also in the smaller size it will be taking up the 100% width, but in the medium size screens, that is probably 700 pixel, I think. So in that it'll take up the width, like take up the 100% width. Now you see that it is taking the 100% width, but if you are greater than the medium sizes devices, then it started taking the less width than the 100%. So if we see in the inspect, and if we go to the this one. So you'll get the idea very much like this. So you can see that. So it is actually the device size. So if I go to, let's say, an iPad, so this screen size is actually greater than the 700, and then that's why it is not taking up the full width. But if I decrease that size, so now it is less than the 770, then it started taking the full width. But if I add LG here, then it will take for the larger devices as well. So for the larger screen as well, it will also take up the full width. Now you see that. So this is actually the container class. But for extra large devices, it will not take the full width. But if I add XL here, then it will start taking for the XL or the extra large devices as well. So this is actually the container class. But if you add container fluid, then it will always be 100% width. So this makes it responsive, and you can decide for which screen you want the 100% width, and you want to make it responsive. So this is actually this. And then also we can add some padding or some utility classes in this. So you can see that there are some left and right padding is there, but for the top and bottom there is no padding. So we can increase that padding by adding py, and then the maximum number is 5, so you can add py. We'll understand what those utility classes are in the upcoming videos. Just understand this will give the top and bottom padding to the 5 uh, unit. So this is, you can see that it is having the padding inside that. Also you can add some margin in the y direction, or y is for top and bottom. If you want only for the top, then you will add t here. If you want it for the bottom, then you'll add b. You'll understand all those utility classes in the chapter when that will come. So let me just add my, which is margin top and bottom, and I can add maximum 5 unit here, less if I want. So I can add 4, 3, and then there is 2 and 1. So I can add 5 here. So that will give top and bottom margin. Also I can add text white, which is the text class we'll understand in the upcoming videos on the typography, which gives the text a color. So in the first video I gave that. So I gave a text primary, I gave that. So in this we added text white, so it started making the text into white color. So you can also do this one. So this is actually what we do for that, and we can also increase the padding to all over the places by adding p-5. So it will give to all the directions like top, bottom, left, right. It will give the 5 percent of, or like the unit which is there in Bootstrap defined. So it will give that padding to all the directions. Now you can see that in all the direction it is taking the padding. So this is actually the container class and some utility classes I told you, like p and the m. We'll also understand all these classes in detail in the upcoming videos. I just wanted to tell you that what this container class is and how it is used for creating containers and wrappers around the large text. So you have to create the container whenever you want to create a large section. You always will be using this container class, and you can also decide for which screen size you want it to be responsive or you want it to take up the full width. So you can also decide by adding some XL and double XL and MD, SM, these subordinate classes. So this is it for this video. I hope you got something about this container class, and in the next video we'll talk about some other topic in Bootstrap. Let's meet in the another one.